Good day, everyone. We are the researcher. I am Extel Wintore.
I am Kurt V. Baksal.
I am Gabriel Valdrapa.
I am Vince Adrian Ponciano.
I am Mark Cedric Picabaya.
And I'm Erich Cerilo.
I am Liza May Salvador.
And I am Faye J.M. Custudio.
My name is Angelo G. Masuher, and our research is titled The Students' Perceived Impact of ChatGPT Usage on Their Learning Motivation. ChatGPT is a learning tool that you can interact with and was launched on November 30, 2022. This tool can assist you in different ways, for example, writing essays and coding. The world took a huge step in terms of artificial intelligence technology, especially in the utilization of ChatGPT in the field of education. Several researchers across the globe are making efforts to study ChatGPT in different industries, and one of them is the education sector, for it may have significant effects on learning improvements and capabilities of a student. On May 2, 2023, the House of Representatives in Quezon City's 19th Congress proposed House Bill number 1973, an act establishing a regulatory framework for a robust, reliable, and trustworthy development, application, and use of artificial intelligence systems, creating the Philippine Council on Artificial Intelligence, delineating the rules of various government agencies, defining and penalizing certain prohibited acts. It is introduced by Honorable Keith Mika, aka Attorney Mike D. Altan, states that AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risks to society and humanity, as shown by extensive research and acknowledged by top AI labs.
The rationale for conducting this research lies in rapidly growing utilization of ChatGPT in education and its potential impact on student learning motivation. With the advancement of artificial intelligence, particularly ChatGPT, there's a need to understand how it influences students' intrinsic and extrinsic motivation to learn. As ChatGPT becomes more prevalent in academic settings, it's essential to assess its effects on student engagement, curiosity, and mastery of subjects.
According to BAT et al. 2023, ChatGPT has received favorable reviews from students. Furthermore, it enhances the confidence and learning outcomes of students, leading to improved learner literacy and general well-being. Munoz et al. 2020, ChatGPT improves students' learning interests. It increases students' motivation and engagement in the learning process, listening skills, and interest in learning with the help of ChatGPT.
First, we should discuss the theory literature used for this research to happen, the self-determination theory that was proposed by Bessie and Ryan, that are both psychological researchers. They suggest that there are two types of motivation, that is the driving factor for a person to be motivated and get things done. These are intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation was driven by a punishment or a reward, while extrinsic motivation was based on the personal interest, enjoyment, or satisfaction. Now that you understand the theory, let's go with the conceptual framework. We designed this framework to display all the important variables that could influence the outcomes of our research. ChatGPT is the independent variable, while learning motivation is the dependent variable. The learning motivation is two types of motivation, extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. It is associated with the variables underneath them. Moreover, the study of Gottfried 2023 claims that academic intrinsic motivation is interpreted as curiosity, mastery, and learning challenging tasks. On the other hand, extrinsic motivation in academics include grades, parental, teacher, and social expectation. We researchers utilize these variables in accordance with our study aims. Subsequently, possible extraneous variables is demographics, which might potentially affect the results of the study.
This study aimed to determine the students' perceived impact of ChatGPT usage on their learning motivation. Specifically, this study attempted to answer these following questions. What are the demographics profile of the respondents in terms of age, sex, and grade level? Number 2. What's the perceived impact of ChatGPT on learning motivation? In terms of intrinsic motivation, it includes the mastery, curiosity, and learning challenging tasks. And for the extrinsic motivation, it includes the grades, parents, teachers, and social expectations. And then third, is there a significant difference in the learning motivation levels of ChatGPT users based on their demographic profile?
Research design. Employ the descriptive correlational research design, aiming to describe characteristics of the population, study and explore relationships between variables. Without experimental manipulation, this approach, as described by Adibat, doesn't assert causality but seeks to understand connections between variables. In this study, it facilitated investigating the impact of ChatGPT usage on the learning motivation of senior high school students at San Pedro Relocation Center National High School. Respondents. The study conducted at San Pedro Relocation Center National High School, main campus for the 2023-2024 school year involved 486 grade 11 and grade 12 students at ages between 16 to 20. The selection method employed was stratified sampling, which divides the population into subgroups and randomly selects members from each subgroup. This approach saved time and money by selecting a smaller in sampling density and identifying the optimal input variable, thereby reducing computational costs. Xiao et al. 2020. Researchers utilized printed survey questionnaires to collect data on participants' demographic profile, perceived impact, overall learning motivation, and usage frequency. The instrument was adapted from previous studies by Sirigar et al. 2023 and consisted of 7 items per independent and dependent variable. Respondents stated each item on a 4-level Likert scale before distribution. The instrument was validated by a UMS teacher from grade 12. Additionally, pilot tests involving 50 senior high school students was conducted to enhance the questions and ensure instrument validity. The reliability of the questionnaire was assessed using Cronbach Alpha, resulting in 5 good indices and 2 excellent indices, indicating the instrument's reliability for sure. In the study, Lima et al. 2022, the researcher process begins with instrument validation and obtain information from the school principal, Enrique R. Malibata, for data collection. Data will be collected from ChatGPT user. After a pilot testing phase involving 50 respondents, the research team, divided into 5 groups, will distribute questionnaires and consent letters to the class advisor. Participants will debrief on the study's purpose and their queries will be addressed. The survey will gather demographic data and assess participants' motivation and perceptions regarding ChatGPT's impact on learning. Collected questionnaires will be analyzed for data. Confidentiality will be maintained out the study in accordance with the ethical considerations. The research team plans to conduct a study with ethical consideration in mind, following principles such as confidentiality, informed consent, resolved communication, and anonymity, as advised by George Denison, 2023. Participants will be fully informed about the research purpose and can choose to participate voluntarily. Questionnaires along with consent letters will be distributed. Through the class advisor, participants will be encouraged to raise any concerns during the resolved communication. Findings will be shared with participants and made accessible for future research. Data will be securely stored for 1 year before deletion. Data analysis will employ correlational research design gathered through a survey questionnaire using the Likert scale. This analysis will occur after collecting demographic data such as grade, sex, section, and age. Quantitative data will be analyzed using the model version 2.4.4 percentages, median, and interquartile range for data distribution. Additionally, the analysis test and statistical value test will be used to test hypotheses for significant differences when peer match or will assess significant relationship by percentage.
The purpose of the study was to find out how students using ChatGPT affected their motivation to learn. The researchers surveyed a sample size of 367 students in grades 11 and 12, combined using quantitative research. The findings from looking at number of variables provide a more thorough picture of how ChatGPT influences students' learning motivation, with a higher percentage of students in grade 11 than in grade 12. The bulk of users are adolescent students between the ages of 16 and 19. The respondents' opinions indicate that ChatGPT has a little effect on learning challenging tasks, grades, parental, teacher, and social expectations. When it comes to learning motivation, nonetheless, reports indicate that it has minor to moderate impact on.
The two things that were developed in our study are the following. First, the connection between ChatGPT and student motivation for learning was not greatly affected by ChatGPT, but intrinsically and extrinsically. Number 2, the results there show minor to moderate effects on the student's motivation to learn, thus suggest there could be some influence and it's worth looking into further exploration.
Conclusions and recommendations discusses the study's findings regarding the effect of ChatGPT on learning motivation. It suggests that while ChatGPT may not have had significant effect on motivation, there is still some noticeable effect indicating potential for further research. The study acknowledged limitation, particularly the lack of qualitative data, which could have provided more depth to the investigation. The paper contributes to the understanding of ChatGPT's role in learning motivation.